Oh, it sounds snoring.
Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey and Paul here. On Wednesday, November 26, 2014, the day before the U.S. Thanksgiving Day.
Turkey Eve!
And well, yes.
Yeah, Turkey Eve.
Well, turkey.
You know, like a Christmas Eve.
Turkey Eve. Oh, I like that. Turkey Eve. You can sort of blend that into one long extended syllable, can't you? Turkey Eve. Maybe the day before Thanksgiving could be known as Turkey Eve.
There, started a thing. Because I just published.
Make that go viral or whatever, twit it around or whatever,
Pick it up and start using it, guys.
Well, it's about 12:30 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. That would be for those of us all around the world. That would be. Let me think. I got to do math in my head. That sometimes can be complicated. It'd be 1725 Greenwich Mean Time, or Zulu time, for those of you in the military and in the airline industry. Now today, we got, Paul's off. He was off Monday, Tuesday, and he's off today, and he's off Thanksgiving, and then he goes back to work Friday. Now, he went out on a little shopping run. I imagine y'all can guess what he bought. And cigarettes. Check out that nicotine gum or patch aisle there, Paul. That sometimes when you're
Yeah.
Well, or one of those e-things that Tony's, check out one of those, those e-things that Tony's always sucking on.
Those things are expensive.
Well, it can't be more expensive than what you drop on your little pleasure habit. Well, that's okay. You do it outside. It's fine. It's your business. So anyway, speaking of things that smell and do things to your head, we got talking about refinishing furniture.
And the chemicals she would use.
Oh, well.
And the chemicals he would use cleaning off the guts planes.
Oh, and paint strippers and solvents and things. And now check this out: EPA and child health safety experts and all this kind of stuff.
You're gonna shit.
This business is long since closed, so don't even think about trying to do anything about it. And in any case, I am not lodging a complaint. I was grateful for the job.
Of course, he's just talking about what it was like growing up.
Well, this was in 1965 through 1969.
Yeah.
And I was grateful for the job. I worked at a local airport, and my official job title was line boy. Well, I may have spoken about this briefly before, but what it involved was basically I did anything I was told. And what I was told to do mostly involved either mowing the yard, washing airplanes, changing oil in airplanes, putting gasoline in airplanes when people would fly in, from
wherever.
Well, from wherever. Yeah. And and then as I got slightly older and was trained to do so, I would taxi private aircraft over to where they were parked, and I would park them and tie them down and so forth. And I would also do things like, before they got indoor plumbing in the office building, I would clean out the outhouse, which which is fun at any time, but particularly fun in the summertime. And this was not a deep pit outhouse, you know, where like a septic truck would pull in with a hose and stick it down in the pit and suck it. No, this was a honey dipper outhouse where you had the trap door swung up, and you propped it up, and then you shoveled the stuff out, you know.
What'd you fucking do with it?
Oh, we put it in a trailer and carted it off somewhere to a far corner of the farm and just dumped it. Well, you got to do something with it.
No crab.
You know, I suppose we could have set fire to it, but I mean, there wasn't really a convenient place to set fire to it. You know,
How do you set fire to shit?
you pour diesel fuel on it,
Oh,
set
dude.
fire to it. Well, it's like the military did in Vietnam, you know, with the shitters. I mean, they do that. I mean, I know I've talked to guys that had to do that. And it's dramatized in movies. I mean, I've seen a couple of scenes in movies where the guys would put on sort of like punishment detail to do that. It's true, though. That's how they did it. I don't know. Maybe they still do it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Does a bear shit in the woods? Does a bear shit in the desert?
I don't see many bears in the desert.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, bears everywhere, Paul. Some guys really like bears.
I've never seen one in the desert.
That's not the kind of bear I'm talking about. So anyway, as we tend to do here on the Joe Kersey channel, we drift a bit far afield. So this is a story about solvents and vapors and what they're used for. So, as I said, one of my jobs at the airport was to clean aircraft. Well, I mean, obviously, part of washing an airplane is just like washing a car. You know, soap and water and a rag and a lot of toing and froing with brushes and rags and things. But the underside of most aircraft have a layer of grease and black
Slime.
crap, carbonaceous crap, that inevitably comes out from the engine exhaust as it goes to there, and of course, depending on the type of engine, I mean, some engines leak oil, like radio engines leak oil toward pretty much all the time.
And more than others.
Well, I mean, they're almost
Some plane engines leak more oil than others.
Radio engines are almost designed to do that. Now, the inline, or the horizontal opposed engines, they rarely leak oil. But you got a lot of exhaust, and it's
Right.
well, anyway. So
It's almost like a diesel exhaust buildup.
oh, it's worse. Well, it's worse.
Well,
Well, actually, it's not worse than that because it's easier to get off than diesel exhaust. Diesel exhaust tends to bond right into the surface, but this was just like cleaning off really oily dirt. But sometimes it'd be quite thick. Sometimes it'd be like about.
Yeah.
Well, of course, that cuts down. That's aerodynamic drag and all that sort of.
Yeah.
I suppose. I wonder if they have somebody taking all that kind of stuff off of a Prius nowadays.
A prick.
Well, an electric car, aerodynamic and ugly, and it's.
That's why they drive the cars through a car wash.
Oh well.
Like once a day.
Well, that's very expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, but they do it.
Well, honey, I don't have that kind of money to throw down the damn drain, and that's literally throwing money down the damn drain.
I know.
So anyway, so I started this job in 1965 when I was 13. Now, all you health and safety Nazis out there, get a load of this. Here's a 13-year-old lying on his back on a creeper, one of these little creeper things like a car mechanic uses to get under a car.
Well, wait, you were outside in the grass.
Well, no. I was actually in a hangar,
Okay.
but you know, a lot of this took place in the wintertime.
So you could take him into the hangar, clean him, and
Yeah,
then bring him back out and park him in the yard.
Well, I mean, you know, yeah, you'd pull the plane in the hangar. It was a work hangar. It's called the work hangar, and you know, had a lot of tools and special things that you could do to fix airplanes and repair airplanes. And you know, you pull this thing in with a hand tow bar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a 13-year-old boy,
dragging an airplane.
I could pull a 1.5 ton aircraft into the work hangar. You know, I couldn't do that the day you paid me, but since they were paying me then, I could do it. I did do it. And
what? 35 cents an hour?
No, 70 cents an hour.
70.
Yeah,
Okay.
70 cents an hour. Which inflation adjusted nowadays is it's a little over $3.20 an hour.
It better fucking be more than that.
Well, no, that's inflation adjusted. Yeah, I mean, you know, since that period of time, about $5.70, maybe $3.50 an hour, something like that. Well, in any case, now what I remember about this particular year is that the Cincinnati Bengals had just been established. I mean, that fall, I think. And I had started working that summer, and then fall was. So I would listen to their football games on the radio in the work hangar while I was cleaning these airplanes. Now, you know, the washing was very straightforward. That was really never an issue. I mean, you have to get up on a ladder, and it's very awkward. And, you know, you have to be careful not to spray anything except right on the airplane. Because you don't want to get anything off the sides wet. And but, you know, you get on this creeper and you're underneath, and we had this thing called, and I don't know if they even make this product, but it was a Standard Oil product. Excuse me. And it was called Stoddard Solvent, Stoddard Solvent, Solvent. And what it basically was petroleum, you know, a mixture of petroleum distillates. You know, in organic chemistry lab we would call it petroleum ether. Now there's no ether in it, except some strange molecule of ether. No, it was a mixture of heptanes, or not heptanes, but alkanes, and sometimes you'd use a power sprayer, sometimes you'd use a rag. I was encouraged to use a rag because the power sprayer used too much of this stuff, and it came in 55-gallon barrels. It wasn't cheap. But I'll tell you, it worked like it worked like a dream. And you'd rub this thing on, and everything came off. I mean, it just came off.
Now, after you rubbed this stuff on, did you just hose it off?
You would rub it off by hand.
Oh, using the.
You went through rags like
after having this shit drip all over your face.
Well, that's true, because you're lying and it's all dripping down into your face.
Yeah, you would still stay down there and have all the chemicals dripping into your face.
Did I have safety glasses on? No. Did I have a respirator on? No. Did I have protective clothing on? No. Was I 18 years of age? No. Did I mind? No, because I needed the money, because I wanted to, 1, learn to fly, and 2, go to college. Did I feel put upon? No. Not for that part of the job. Now, on the other hand, here's another part of the same job during my 4-year tenure at this place, where I did feel a tad put upon. The couple that owned this airport lived in it was probably about an 1820s, 1830s house. And it had on the front of it a really wonderful front porch, which had sort of fallen into disrepair. Well, the floor of it had. Well, the floor was easy enough to replace. But what it had was an extensive set of
ornate pillar.
no, ornate spindles along the porch rails underneath, and then it had at the very top, just underneath the roof,
right up at the porch.
Yeah, you had this very sort of artistic,
like a lace.
I can't. Left is right. First consult KJ4IEU. Here we go. And they were about this length. Artistic. They served no functional purpose whatsoever. They were just things to look at and to have been painted over and over and over and over again over the previous 150 years. So guess what I got to spend one summer doing?
Cleaning the old shit off.
We had to strip this paint off. Well, no. I use the collective pronoun we. No. how misleading. No. I had to strip this paint off. Which I'll tell you considerably increased the space between the spindles when all was taken off. Because the paint was about this thick.
Accumulated a bit, didn't it?
Oh,
it was that thick ass lead shit.
It was, well, a lot was whitewashed, but yeah, later on, the top layers were the lead white, or the white lead.
So it's a freaking whitewash.
No, that's just like lime. Yeah, that's.
You don't want to know that.
Well, anyway, so this thing was on the south-facing wall of the house, and it's July in southwestern Ohio. And apparently it was a favorite hangout spot of wasps. Now, what I had to do was, I had to strip this, I'm using the wrong verb. I had to chip this paint off, because could we use paint stripper? Oh, no. We couldn't use that stuff that comes, we couldn't use whatever this stuff, I don't think it's available in the United States anymore. But it was, because it works too well. That's why. I mean, the EPA is, dead set on basically taking away everything from us that works. Anyway, there was a product came in a red can, and generally it was also sold with a paint scraper taped to it, packaged with it. One of the first examples, by the way, of that kind of, combination marketing. And it was basically toluene. It was just toluene. And you put the toluene on the paint, and essentially after
you were able to brush it on, right, and let it set.
Yeah, but you'd have to let it sit too daggone long, because basically the stuff started to just melt. The paint just started to melt off.
Oh, there you
go. And then you use a little scraper or toothbrush even sometimes to just get it, and it plops down onto the ground, and you can rinse it off. You know, and
Yeah.
it's very effective. Now, on the other hand, you know, we all know toluene does some nasty things to your brain, heart, kidneys, lungs, liver, and bone marrow. But it really, really works. Could we use that? No, because they were worried about my health. Well, in retrospect, perhaps that's okay. But I'll tell you right now, you know, when you're up on a ladder, you know, rotated around at an odd angle, you know, and I've never done well with my head very, you know, much below my shoulders. You know, I just don't do well. I never have done. You know, and feeling I'm going to fall off. I'm going to tell you, you know, and it's 95 degrees and the wasps are flying around you and the humidity's 80%. You really don't care if your heart, brain, kidneys, liver, and whatever else are damaged, no bone marrow, or damaged from this toluene. You just want to get the job done. You know, it's not like I was, you know, laying back trying to stretch out my hours at, you know, 80 cents an hour.
Oh, you got a raise.
Well, no, I got 70 cents, you know, my first year, 80 cents, and then 90 cents. And then the federal government raised the minimum wage to $1.60, and since we were considered interstate commerce, they had to pay me $1.90, $1.60 an hour, and that pissed Joanne off. And so they paid me $1.60 an hour because they had to follow the law, but they took away my employee discount on things.
On what?
Well, like flying lessons. They used to give me a 25% off discount on flying lessons. I still came out slightly ahead. It's the principle of the thing.
Shit, should have taught you for free.
No. You know, if you get something for free, you don't appreciate it. So anyway, the job got done, but it, you know, anyway, I eventually got my pilot's license, and I was able eventually, you know, with that working for the lawyers, I was able to pay for half my college. So I'm not paying. Now, you know, to complete this solvent-oriented story, well, there's two other segments to this solvent-oriented story. When I was married to my ex-wife, and I'd show you this cabinet, but I don't want to pick up my computer and walk around and show it to you. But it was a very nice. It was a wardrobe. It was one of these old-fashioned oak wardrobes, and she had bought this at one of these sales or auctions or flea markets or something, and but the one thing that was lacking was its shelf. I mean, you know, it did. You know, actually, somebody had put shelves in it, but the shelves didn't come with it. So
it almost looks like an old pie cupboard now.
Well, no, a pie cupboard would have a metal front with holes in it so that it could air out the pies.
Right.
Yeah. No, this one's a pie cupboard.
This does not have it.
No,
but it's styled that way. In a way.
Well, it's yes. Anyway, so So anyway, this thing was, as is often the case when you got furniture that was made in the mid to late 19th century. By the time you encountered this, and this would have been in 1976, 77, you know, you'd had like 18 layers of varnish on it, and, you know, and of course, even worse, sometimes they were painted. Anyway, she bought this, and she said we wanted, and I had all sorts of things. And we put shelves in it and things. And, I mean, there were things. It was a nice piece. You know, and I think she only bought it for like $10. Well, that would be nowadays about $45. Still, that's a good deal. So, I took this thing out on our back porch there on North 4th Street in Columbus, Ohio. And 2295 North 4th, if you want to, Google Earth it. I don't know who lives there now. We don't.
Please,
She doesn't.
don't do that.
She doesn't. No, go ahead. Enjoy. Get a sense of where and how I lived. But see, maybe it's that toluene kicking in after all these years.
It was a nice double.
That wasn't a double. No, that was a detached single house.
Oh.
You're confusing that with Lakeview.
No, I was thinking Dottie and Carolyn lived in the other house.
Well, but it wasn't double.
Okay, the house.
These were all single houses.
Right.
Yeah. It was built around 1890. Well, without getting into the architectural design of the house, I had this piece of furniture out back on the back porch I wanted to refinish. And so I got my little Red Devil paint scraper, well, varnish scraper in this instance, and my trusty can of toluene. And I'm going to tell you right now, I understood immediately what all the 7th grade and junior high and 8th grade huffheads were into, because this stuff was devastatingly great, except it left you with a huge pounding headache. But before you got the huge pounding headache,
you had a great buzz.
You felt like you were rocketing off into the universe. Lord knows what your kidney, liver, heart, brain, and bone marrow were feeling, but I guess your brain was feeling I was rocketing off into the universe. Well, suffice to say, the job got done, and then there is a thing here. Let's see here. Move over just a hair, Paul, and I want to show him my great grandfather.
Oh,
yeah. See this. There's a chest of drawers in the back there. You can't really see it. But that's right. No. We don't need to make a big deal about it. Here, come on back.
I'm just going to turn on.
No. We don't need to burn those 240 watts, said he frugally. Well, anyway, that was my great-grandfather's chest of drawers. He was a physician in the 1840s in southwest Ohio. And it had been out in what was called, euphemistically called the garage. It was a detached garage in the place where I grew up. It was just a shed. It was a storage. And my dad said I could have it, and it was actually filled with cans of oil and paint, and it was stained to who tied it, and again, it had also had about like this many layers of varnish put on it over the years. And so, when I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana for 18 months, it's kind of displacement behavior to deal with a deteriorating personal situation. I refinished this. I mean, I stripped all the varnish off and I sanded it down, and yes, and Pache Antiques Roadshow types. Yes, I took off, the cracked, horrible original knobs and put on new modern porcelain knobs. But, I've also got his rocking chair, by the way, which I did have professionally redone and reconditioned down by a fellow in North Carolina. So there's that family connection there, which of course at some point my son and grandson will get, presumably. Things, huh? Stuff. Well, anyway, that little project provided a certain amount of, how shall we say, release from the travails of my particular situation up there, because I also used the magic toluene from the red can. Now, we'll finish this off with yet one more vaporous story.
Have you guys ever used Homer Formsby for stepping
two more stories.
overlaid paint and varnish on crap
And
in an apartment?
And as an associated point, we'll also
where you can get down to natural wood.
We'll pair that with Old English furniture polish. Now, when I was a medical student at Children's Hospital and a resident at Children's Hospital, apparently there were children in Columbus, young children, maybe not all that young, in Columbus, Ohio, that for some reason liked to drink Old English furniture polish or this Homer Formsby polish. Now, essentially, those products were essentially kerosene mixed with nitrobenzene. Kerosene mixed with nitrobenzene is also the constituent of a product that is now also no longer available in the United States. Much to gun enthusiasts' displeasure, known as Hoppy's No. 9 solvent. Now, there may be a Hoppy's No. 9 solvent being sold as under the same name, but it's not the same product. I've got a quart bottle of it sitting around here, and I use it sparingly when nothing else will do.
But I mean, come on.
Well, we do need to move.
We've had high shelves forever.
Yeah, I know. We do need to move along here, Paul. And but these kids seem to like to drink this stuff. So one day, parents had brought in one of these. And there's what my child drank. And I said, let me just have a taste of this. I stuck my finger in the thing. And I thought, my Lord, why would he? Well, Paul and I got time about this, and we decided that the kid must have been just sort of beguiled by the odor of it. And he figured, he enjoyed the odor of it and the sensation of the odor of it in his head so much that he just drank it, yeah. I always found that to be an incentive to clean my guns.
Yeah, but the kid is trying to clean his guts, not his guns.
Oh, the kid was just trying to get a high, and he thought, and actually, I know. I don't know. I don't know. I know he was drinking. The problem was, it's a petroleum product. And it doesn't have the surface tension like water does. Humans can swallow water just fine, but they're not designed to swallow low surface tension items like oils and, petroleum distillates. And so they'd get this incredible, aspiration pneumonia. Yeah, that was awful. Yeah. Most of them survived, but it wasn't pretty, guys. But given all the stuff that was up in their heads, maybe they didn't give a shit. The kids. The parents were worried sick, obviously. And then there was, and this is for those of us of a certain age, meaning pretty much anybody older than us. Yeah. Hi, guys.
Yeah, meeting us.
There were things called mimeograph machines. I'm sure guys that were in the military during the Vietnam era have run into mimeograph machines. Well, hell, up until the computer era too. You know, you crank the thing, and you got this purple. You get this purple ink that comes out. You know, and the teachers would be in the teachers' lounge in the office. You know, cranking the mimeograph machine to run off tests, and they'd come in with their tests, and they'd pass them out. You know, and the first thing everybody did was they picked up the test.
Put it face down.
Yeah, well.
Don't turn them over until I tell you start.
Oh, no, everybody sticks them right up against their face and inhales deeply. Well, it was exactly like that scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which was exactly based on fact. I mean, that's what everybody did. You know, you huffed in this mimeograph fluid.
I mean, remember it was like the old alarm system. Like you've got an air raid coming in, and somebody would be up on the tower cracking the thing and screeching off. Sorry.
You never had any trouble getting student volunteers to
help
help run the mimeograph machine in the central office.
Right. It wasn't a machine. It was a hand crank thing.
Well, right. Well, it was a machine. Then there was a brief period of offset printing, which was, you had to cut.
You had to set the letters and everything.
You had to cut a stencil with a blank, without having the ribbon go through. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that concludes today's stories of adventures in solvents.
So, snorting ink, snorting solvents, snorting paint that won't.
Don't be a huffhead, guys. It's fun, but don't be a huffhead.
Don't do it.
Yeah, no, it really is. And it really doesn't take too much to really mess you up.
Internally.
Well, yeah. Sometimes though, well, no, don't be a huffhead. Be not a huffhead.
Listen to the doc.
Well, on the other hand, as long as you're not hurting anybody. That's the libertarian in me. All righty.
Good night, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving.